Let's break down the digital economy. I'm Caroline Bowler. Crypto Corner starts now. Welcome to Crypto Corner, presented by BTC Markets, where each episode we explore the latest in crypto market trends. In this episode, I am joined with Amy-Rose Goodey, the newly appointed Managing Director of the Digital Economy Council of Australia, to decode the digital economy. Hi, Amy-Rose. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you? First of all, congratulations on the new role. So you're the MD of what was Blockchain Australia, but is now transitioning to the Digital Economy Council of Australia. Can you tell us what's going on? What's this transition all about?
So, Caroline, BTC Markets is a member of Blockchain Australia and has been for a long time. So you probably know a lot about Blockchain Australia, but for those who don't, Blockchain Australia is around 10 years old. And around 5 years ago was our first evolution where we merged with the Australian Digital Currency Association. We recognised that the industry was broadening then and we needed to represent members across the Australian economy who were interested in this blockchain technology and obviously digital assets. So I've been with the association for 5 years, obviously keeping my finger on the pulse for some time, as have all of our directors at Blockchain Australia. And what we recognised, also following the survey that we did with Protocol Theory of our members, it was the first that we had done, what we realised was the membership base was broadening, expanding across multiple verticals. And these verticals are across the whole digital economy. So that's down to, obviously, yourselves with digital assets, and then we have tokenization and DeFi. Throughout this decade of growth and innovation, we've seen NFTs. But we've also seen the application of blockchain and DLT become, they've been emerging technologies to disruptive technologies to foundational technologies. So this foundational technology is now seen across the Global 500, for example, the top 20, probably 90% are implementing either publicly or secretly. They're not announcing it as much as we are, but across all of these different verticals is the leveraging. So that's of digital identity, supply chain, paperless economies, so the importing and exporting, healthcare. So we just really wanted to recognise and acknowledge and also celebrate how far the industry has come. And the focus is now on the digital economy from a government perspective as well, and also from an Australian societal perspective as well, where we, as Australians, are moving very, very quickly into a digital world where we require some of these tech stacks that enable efficiency and transparency and security. So essentially, it was that acknowledgement that we need to move with the industry and with the country.
And so, Rose, here's the question, I suppose. Blockchain Australia, by its very name, was clearly very centred around blockchain technology, but digital economy suggests something broader. So, is your remit solely going to be around blockchain, or has that shifted? Has that changed?
So it absolutely hasn't shifted or changed. And I think that's the uniqueness about this rebrand. It's more of an acknowledgement as to the foundational purpose of DLT and blockchain in the digital economy. It's an acknowledgement of, I guess, how important it is to leverage from this technology in the digital economy. But what we have found is that our members are not just building on or with distributed ledger technologies or blockchain. Our members are building platforms, they're leveraging from other technologies, including AI. There are also businesses globally within the ecosystem who are leveraging from quantum and quantum encryption and quantum encrypted blockchains, and telecommunications companies who are leveraging from blockchain as well. So it's more of a refocusing and of our original mission, which is to support those who are leveraging from blockchain and distributed ledger technologies within the economy. So it is just reinforcing the fact that our technology, blockchain sets, tokenization, and distributed ledger technology are absolutely foundational to the success of the digital economy.
So do you think then, for you coming in as the new MD of this organisation, and what an exciting time to come in at too, where, we're seeing that shift as you described. And I know that this is a subject that's very dear to your heart in terms of the interest, your professional interest around technology. You've certainly been a backbone and a driver of this within the Blockchain Australia organisation and widely within the community. But what are your goals then as MD, as the new MD coming in? How are things going to shift, change, move? What are you hoping to do?
I think we're going to keep the original remit, which is obviously to support our members, but there are a few things we need to move on. And we found that in the recent survey that education is one of the main priorities of our members, and that's education across government, across mums and dads with respect to digital assets and crypto, for example. It's education to our policymakers and our regulators that they're trying to keep pace at the same time as we are, and we are evolving very, very quickly. So it's a matter of putting out that educational platform as part of the association, but it's also about working with members more intently on the regulation side of things. We're coming into a critical time at the moment. So one of the things that we're doing, and we're actively undergoing interview process for a head of policy, for example, which we haven't had before, but it'll be a key driver to the success of our remit as, a lobbyist and a supporter of digital asset businesses.
And I think that's to your point about how we're reaching a key point, in this journey, particularly when it comes to regulation. Any trip I've had overseas in just this year in particular, and you can see how much further ahead other countries are when it comes to this subject matter, in terms of engagement from legislators, engagement from regulators. Here in Australia, the conversation in our sector is driven by a narrative around scams and frauds. I go to other countries, and while they still have these issues, the narrative there is driven by opportunity and the need to be forward-facing and future-proofing their economies. And I think that if we're not careful, that Australia could miss out on some of that opportunity that other countries have rightly identified. I mean, certainly for you as the MD of this new organisation, or this rebranded organisation, I mean, that is going to be a challenge to sink your teeth into.
It is, and we've already missed out on opportunities. Just with respect to a number of our businesses and our startups within the Blockchain Australia membership base, but also here locally, there are a number of different businesses who have moved overseas. It's very comfortable moving overseas at the moment. They're over there with open arms saying, bring the talent. There's a massive talent shortage globally with respect to, blockchain devs and skills in across the whole digital economy, to be frank. So we've already, I think, missed out. But at the moment, I think we're closer than ever. We can taste it, that incoming regulation and that framework that will enable us to have that confidence that we are able to build again. When you look overseas, and you said it before, Caroline, they are moving in what seems to be a different direction to us. They're further ahead than us. And I think once we reach that point, and I don't have a timeline, you don't have a timeline, there's frustration and angst, and I can feel that, and I have that in conversations every single day. That uncertainty it's everyone's had to put the brakes on. So we're paying the price for that as an industry, and so will Australia as an economy is paying the price, because we can't innovate fast enough because of the restrictions or the lack of certainty. But what I'm looking forward to is, I don't think it's definitely not as far away as it was last year, let's put it that way. But once we get through that, that's when things will scale and speed up, because we know now what are the boundaries, what can we build within this licensing framework. And I have absolute confidence, particularly with our, let's just say, digital asset exchanges, yourselves maybe. I don't know if you're thinking about this, but there is an idea that the businesses will evolve. So digital asset marketplaces, for example, where you'll be able to trade all sorts of different assets, from health data for research to carbon credits and the like. So I'm confident once we move past that, and I think that's what is driving me and my enthusiasm, because I can see the light. It is, however, and I do acknowledge that it is incredibly frustrating to know what you could be building, but you can't.
And that's probably the best summation of it, is that sense of frustration as somebody who is in the driving seat of a company here in Australia. We're an Australian business with an Australian team, with Australian technologists. You know, we've got all the IP onshore, and because of the uncertainty that's been created or been sustained, you know, we can't put deeper roots into this economy, and we are looking overseas as a result of that. Incredibly frustrating. As you say, none of us know when it's coming, but we are told it is on its way. But, you know, I'm 4.5 years sitting in this seat being told the same thing. So, you know, excuse me if I'm a little cynical around the whole thing. But the point that gets me, and I think probably gets you the same, is that sense of frustration that there's this opportunity that we're so close to getting to. On that note, I shall wrap it up with you, Amy-Rose, and thank you so very, very much for your time and for joining us. I'm really excited to see what DECA can do for us all here in Australia as we push through into this new digital economy. Thanks for joining me on Crypto Corner, and we'll see you all next time.
You're watching Ticker. We'll have more in just a few minutes.